A sun-splashed Sunday afternoon here in the Twin Cities. Timberwolves and Grizzlies set to meet for the first of 4 meetings this season here in downtown Minneapolis. Your Northland Ford starting lineups: the Grizzlies with Saul. Timberwolves will counter with Teague, Wiggins, Covington, Taj Gibson, and
Marc Gasol didn't play in the game, so Gasol's been a huge, precursor in terms of deciding Minnesota's wins and losses. He's been so consistent.
3 meetings between these two teams last season. Jeff Teague, season opening, and Jeff Teague able to get the he needs to. Jaren Jackson was fantastic in their game play this afternoon. Nearly 2 per game. Towns,
nice.
Gasol able to get
the in pick and roll concept defensively, but individually he's so big and strong.
Nice cut by Kyle Anderson, who, it's not just Jaren Jackson's father that has pro basketball ties. Covington out of the corner for the third. Thought on Jackson, Jim, his dad 12 years in the NBA, but how about his mom is the director of operations for the WNBA?
She's a lawyer for the coaches. Get it. So was one of the really appreciate is Taj Gibson.
Great job walling up without
hedge.
fouling. Teague's got options and finally hands it to Taj Gibson.
Have that next level awareness of the game. I love players that would parrot play calls back to the bench.
Thank you, Marty. Thought it was interesting, Jim, after the win here against Portland on Friday night, Andrew Wiggins made a comment about feeling like the scheme
in the world is going on here.
Well, they did win here the other night with 23 turnovers, but that's not a trend that you want to try and test. Just turned Sacramento over 21 times in their win against the Kings on Friday. Covington 3, and Robert Covington that following the game the other night.
What, he noticed my comments about that?
He did. Andrew Wiggins the drive and the finish.
Shoot him that often. He's more concerned with setting other people up.
Like that? Towns knocked away, though. Wanted a foul for the game in talking about the pace and the defense and what they're going to do and what their team identity is going to be. He said he had a meeting with his staff this summer as Towns grit
the grindhouse, baby,
and slow teams down.
Playing in Memphis has never been easy. Pick and roll game with Jaren Jackson, gifted coach and communicator of the game.
And we're all very happy to see him having an opportunity in Memphis and having success with it. Andrew,
I'm sure 34 minutes is what he should be playing. It's a lot of minutes for a player that's had injuries like he's had, but Derek has been fantastic and
couldn't control the offensive board. Extra pass from Covington to Saric, and Caspi and the awkward looking release, unable to get it to go.
That reclamation project in Memphis, they really kind of reclaimed his career, or he's reclaimed it for himself as Gorgui Dieng knocks her hands, talking about ball pressure. One of the most important things in the defensive end, and it really doesn't take any skill to do.
In the dribble alive and get a shot.
Snaking into the paint, knocking down the shot. This is what Rose has done so well. He still has.
Get it off the glass.
Sometimes he's not always in control, as he goes back to some of that old form, but has been very, very out of control in this game. His 3rd turnover of the game for Jeff Teague is Michael Green. It's one of the main tenets of a great defensive team. I've never seen a great defensive team that doesn't do that.
Rose gets
defensive team not doing.
Conley and Mike for having that string broken last season. Towns over the shoulder, Saric.
It started with Saric. You could realize that guy pushed off on your back. He couldn't get any lift.
Rose finds Covington, cutting to the hoop. Rose adding to the bench. Shelvin Mack out of the corner. He placed and are living now in tent cities because they've got nowhere to stay. Conley the feed for Mack.
Actually stick a Kogi on Mike Conley and be disruptive, because he's just so disruptive. He's able to get through screens. He's able to stay in front. He's a great team defender. This is where Marc Gasol is flourished so well, that left box post up. And he just is there as well, but left box is where he flourishes.
Timberwolves, meantime, have missed 10 of 12, not anymore. And they missed 6 in a row. They finally end it with that one. Crowd thought there should have been a turnover. Mike Gasol all alone, and he misses, but right there for the offensive putback is Green. Still sticking with it. Green, another chance at it. Gasol for Green.
That's kind of the number. Is like you want to kind of hold him under 45, but a 40% shooting half by Memphis. Gasol gets opponents under 45% shooting.
Andrew Wiggins attacks.
The three-point shooting by Andrew Wiggins is really kind of make people perk up. As
Jim, you mentioned the three-point shooting by Andrew Wiggins. It opens up so many other things of his game. Karl Anthony Towns.
a little pick and pop
Season.
Covington trying to get himself another steal right there, knocks it away. Good switch there. Jackson.
Towns. Shot clock under 3, and Cat, because that would be great television. Wiggins underneath.
It would.
Timberwolves with their first matinee of the season and their first matinee game this week. Teague has it knocked away.
Anthony Towns should be popping. I don't know why he wouldn't pop that time. Jeff Teague dragged two defenders to the base
Of the year.
It's one of the ways that Jackson and Gasol get open threes, as Conley knocks down that strong hand, but it's just unique to see a guy with that big a tendency to drive left.
Temple became the first team this season to beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee. It's the kind of season that they've had. Conley right back to Gasol, steps behind the line and dribbles.
Dad played the NBA too, by the way. Carlos Temple was drafted by the Phoenix Suns in '74.
Shelvin Mack with the three.
You mentioned about how they can be unique in the league, and one of the ways that they came up with was to control pace. Minnesota does have three
Here in this quarter for Minnesota. Gasol along 2. In terms of just the atmosphere in the building, and the electricity seems to have been taken out a little bit compared to certain.
Look at the pressure that Memphis puts on you.
Great spin move by Wiggins. Connect. How much of that has to do with at some point you just become so frustrated with trying to defeat what the Grizzlies are throwing? Tyus Jones sniffing out a steal, but Jackson able to get it. And Jackson. Rose. Covington out of the corner. The Grizzlies, meantime, are 17 of 37, and that's going quickly because they are going to whittle that clock down in a hurry. Saric, 3-ball, yeah. It's still a long ways to go. Got to be inside 2 minutes.
That's a killer.
That's right, you got to
the
shake it
referee's
off.
take it away. You have to shake it up. You can't sit there and blame the officials. They didn't dig this hole for you.
Rose. Conley kicking to the corner. Extra pass to Gasol for 3.
It's just not as good, and that's why if you've got three-point shooters, you got to get them out there.
And Temple was wide open and on the other side as well as Saric rattles. Timberwolves playing even with them in this quarter for the most part, but they got it. Gasol has another one. That's a big if, though, given the history since he's been in Memphis. Covington, Mack. Gasol had it knocked away. Temple's going to have to shoot, and that's the way the day has been.
That's how you can win when you don't shoot well. If you were willing to put pressure on people, you can win basketball games when you don't. I don't think anybody would mess with that dude. But he's also paid his dues. In the Toronto Raptors organization, coaching their G League team, won a championship.
Here on this Sunday afternoon, Timberwolves' 3-game win streak comes to an end. The Grizzlies improved to 10-5 on the season, and for now are tied with the second best record in the Western Conference.